We call to order the City Council meeting for October 15, 2013. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Right over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
A quorum is present.
An old friend of Councilman Padilla's and mine, Mark Olson, the region manager from SCE, is making a presentation to the Inglewood Public Works Department staff. Mr. Olson. Oh, and Marilyn Lyons from South Bay Environmental Services. I didn't have that. No, please come forward.
All right. As you may know, the city of Inglewood is one of our great partner cities in the Edison Energy Leader Program. That means your municipal buildings are being looked at by your public works staff, and they're doing such a terrific job in saving energy for the city, which saves money. And they're at the silver level now and just about ready to become gold. So we wanted to present them with a certificate of recognition today, and we have several certificates here. That's how the hardworking staff you have working on this. So I'd like to call them forward if I could.
Yes.
All right. Artie Fields, is he here? I couldn't have it without you. Louis Atwell.
Oh, my goodness.
Is Danita Meshach here? Danita Meshach today? Oh,
Not today.
okay. We'll present that to her later. Victor Nunez?
Victor.
Thank you. Harry Frisbee?
Yay.
Okay. Bameshwar Rai? Okay. Mendela Wilcox? Lennox Ananwa? All right. Working hard. Keith Lockhart?
In a meeting.
Okay.
Somebody's got to do the city work.
Okay. Got that one already. Lauren Amimoto? City meeting. Cliff Pate? And Angela Williams.
Whoa.
Yes, if we could just get a picture with you.
Let's go over here.
Okay.
Don't get part of the picture, brother. He does way too much not to be in this picture. Oh, they got
Not yet.
Thank you very much. And we have a treat for your residents.
When you come back on camera, you can mention that.
Oh, okay. Above the regular rebate? Yes, I'll mention that as I go into this. If I could
Yes,
just
you
take
may.
one more thing to say, Public Works Director Atwell wanted me to mention also that by being at the silver level, you're saving 6 cents per kilowatt hour more over and above the regular Edison rebate amount every time you save those energy savings. And the next level up at Gold is going to be 9 cents per kilowatt hour more than the regular Edison rebate. So
Right.
this is a financial reward for the city too. And we have something that we do every year for the residents of the South Bay and Inglewood, and that's our holiday light exchange. And the residents can come to our center in Torrance and exchange 2 strands of old energy guzzling holiday lights for 2 brand new strands of LED lights. So I'll leave these flyers with your city so you residents can come in and pick one up.
And they're free.
And they're free.
Thank
That's
you.
right. And they'll help cut those energy costs around the home at holiday time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Olson?
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Mark Olson, Southern California Edison. I'm covering for Marvin Jackman, who's on special assignment, so I'll be your representative for Edison. We value these energy partnerships, and we see it's a good partnership for the city and the community to save money. But just by way of a little introduction, I've been with the company for 35 years, but I'm not new to Inglewood. When I was a little one, we lived on 108th Street. We've had my grandfather lived in Inglewood until his passing. My grandmother frequented Hollywood Park. My wife's uncle owned the Jayhawk Bar. So we have some connections here at Inglewood. So I appreciate the warm welcome. I know I call him Chief Butts, but as the police chief in Santa Monica, we played on the Rotary basketball team together. Great sports guy there in the mayor. And Alex with Santa Monica PD. So I feel like I'm at home, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Any persons wishing to address City Council on any item of today's agenda may do so at this time. Going once?
Good evening, council members. As you go about establishing DR1, which is the Western Riverside Council of Governments joint powers with regard to I think the hero should be capital, energy rebate issue, I certainly hope everyone goes out of their way to point out that those run with the property and that Fannie Mae and the other common person, what's the other one? Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are not going to be pleased if you don't work out for the full term of those arrangements. And I hope that's made perfectly clear, because in the past we've had some great programs that those little caveats were not explained to the homeowners when they accept those great gifts.
Appreciate that. Okay, we'll close public comment. Consent calendar items 2, 3, 4, 5.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Council members Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Move allow payment of the bills.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Council members Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. DR1.
Staff report, adoption of a resolution consenting to the inclusion of properties within the city's jurisdiction in the California Home Energy Renovation Opportunity Program.
So moved. 1 and 2.
Second.
Could you just explain this briefly? I'm sorry, Ms. Tatum.
I can be really brief. The California State Legislature adopted legislation in 2008 that allowed cities to enter into agreements with either to provide funding themselves or through independent entities to provide financing for energy efficiency improvements to the home. Essentially, the criteria are that the energy improvements have to be permanently affixed to the home, and it is financed through a semi-annual lien on the property that's assessed against the property tax. The property assessment does run with the land, and it's generally about a 20-year repayment period. And when the home is sold, it's assessed against the property, not the property owner, so that if the property is ever sold, the assessment will remain with the property. Currently, the city of Inglewood has an agreement with the Los Angeles County with a property, a PACE program, as they're commonly called. And that program currently has several people who are going through the process of getting those improvements. But this particular program, called the HERO program, would be through the Western Riverside Council of Governments. It would provide a key difference to the Los Angeles County program, and that difference is that single-family homes would now be eligible for this. Under the current program that the City Council approved in 2010, businesses and residents of 5 units or more are eligible. So this program would open it up so that now smaller numbers of units, including single family, would now be eligible for this program. There is no cost of this program to the city other than the administrative process that council hopefully would take tonight to approve the program. After that, it's completely independent of the city, and so no city funding or any other costs are incurred. The last comment I would just make is that we're currently in the process of dealing with a third PACE program called Fig Tree that would also be coming forward at probably within the next couple of weeks. So that would give the property owners in the city yet another option to participate in these energy efficiency improvements and with the assessment on the property. One other comment is that it's correct that when the assessment is made on the property, it is not eligible for neither Fannie Mae nor Freddie Mac will take properties that have that on them, because once the assessment is on the property, it's the first debt that's paid if the property goes into foreclosure. So with that concludes staff's comments. And we do have a representative here from the COG if there are any questions of council.
I just would want, how will people know that they're eligible for inclusion in the program?
The actual program itself, they do outreach within the community to the property owners to make them eligible.
Well, there you go.
And Mayor?
Yes, sir.
And just want to piggyback on her comments that unless the city adopts a resolution, it will not become available for the Inglewood homeowners, and that's why it's critical that we do this resolution.
Bring it back.
Correct.
Madam Clerk?
Council members Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. CM1,
No city manager reports.
A1.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. There was a closed session held as to CS1 closed session confidential conference with labor negotiators under Government Code Section 54957.6, subsection A, employee organizations with Service Employees International Union, Inglewood Management Employees Organization, Inglewood Executive Organization, Inglewood Police Officers Association, Inglewood Police Management Association, Inglewood Police Civilian Management Association. Negotiators for the city are Artie Fields, City Manager, and Jack Huffman, our Human Resources and Labor Relations Consultant. Discussions were held, however, no final action was taken, and that concludes the reports out of closed session for today, and there are no verbal reports.
CC1, Madam City
Thank you,
Clerk.
Mayor. I just wanted to point out 2 things, maybe 3. That it's projected on January the 26th that postage will go up to 49 cents. And also in our newsletter that we receive from our election consultants, they tell us about a machine that they have out that checks signatures, it verifies signatures. When we, one of the processes that we have is we have to verify the signatures of each voter. And it costs about 97 cents per signature with the county. And if we have to get an affidavit, it's $2.45. This machine verifies all that information. The only thing, though, they didn't give us the cost of the machine, so I have to find out about that. But it would definitely, on long term, save the city some money. And the last thing I wanted to share was this weekend, Sunday, I actually participated in the AIDS Walk for West Hollywood. Saw a couple of your friends, Mayor, from Santa Monica. It was awesome. We participated, my husband and I, in the celebration, and I actually did the walk. So.
Oh, no.
Yes. So that's the end of my closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam City Treasurer?
And I don't mean to boast, but I've completed 12 Elliott City marathons.
You gotta catch up, you gotta step up. You gotta step up.
I'd like to report that the rates continue to be quite low. There's very little offerings for the 1 year, and they're as low as 0.35. In the 2 year, it's quite low also, in the range of roughly 0.45 until roughly about 0.56. 3 years also very low also. The highest is about 1.12. The 4 years is about a 1.625 bond, and the 5 year is about a 2.08, but again, it's a 5 year bond. And we expect the rates to pick up in that the feds are going to continue buying bonds for the next several years to the tune of roughly about, I think it's about $80 billion per month, something like that, per quarter. And also, would like to point out that the rates also quite low with the state pool as low as 0.26, and the quarterly rate is 0.27. And would like to also report regarding foreclosures. Certainly it's been an improvement nationwide. There's roughly about 37% the national rate is, and in Inglewood is quite a nice improvement also. For 2013, from January to 2013, District 1 had, well, I won't say District 1, but zip code 90301, 26, 90302, 4503, 3404, 11, and 0538, a total from January to June of 2013, 154. And the trustee sales was about the same, so these homes are being picked up almost as, as fast as they're going on to the foreclosures listing, particularly here in Districts 1. And
Madam Chair, I don't want to interrupt, but I will briefly. It's my understanding that all of those acts have been picked up, those REOs.
What was that
I was
again?
agreeing with you that all those REOs have been picked up by investors. Those
Oh, yes.
foreclosures.
I was going to point that out. They are primarily by investors, and they're renting these properties out, particularly in District 1, upwards to about $2,500 per month, because I have several friends that are living in them that are renting, and that's about what they're paying. And also, thank you, Mayor, for that input. Also for January 2012, from January through November, 90301, 90, 02, 139, 03, 100, 04, 39, 05, 136. And this is in 012, 504. So a big change. And again, these properties are picking up. We're seeing all kinds of families and ethnic groups that are moving into these properties. And, it's just exciting to see new families coming in with their little kids, and they're pushing about in their strollers. And so that's good to know. And also would like to point out, again, the City Treasurer Student Intern Program, again, will be beginning this coming Wednesday. Thus far, I have roughly about 9 students in the class, and I mentioned that last week. I expect others will be signing up at the last minute. So we'll be this coming Wednesday from 3:30 until 6, and we will meet in my office, and we'll come up to the 9th floor where we'll conduct the class. And some of the things we'll be talking about, again, as you learn some life skills in this program that simply is not taught in school, how to become financially independent. And I will stress the importance of saving and not putting everything that you buy on your back or on your car. When I see these kids riding around in these spinning wheels that run about $5,000, they put that money in a mutual fund and keep adding to that. That's one way that they become financially independent instead of financially poor. And also the importance of living within your means. If you make $30,000, you don't want to live like you're making 60. And credit cards allow you to do that. Importance of reading a variety of financial and non-financial publications we'll talk about, and increase both of these knowledge bases. And the importance of focus on a career that you're passionate about as opposed to a career that pays the most money. Because if you go into something that you really love, the money will come. I know a lot of people who are working in jobs that they just hate them, and they're making a lot of money. And also put forth your best efforts at all times in whatever you do. Strive to have excellent credit. Credit is just key. You want to try and keep, pay your bills on time in order that you'll have good scores with all 3 credit agencies. And always pay yourself from all sorts of money that you earn. You want to pay your church, but you can also pay yourself also. And again, I'll let them know it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. That concludes my remarks and my comments.
And that closes Wanda's corner. That was great. Okay. Public comment. Any person who wishes to address City Council on any matter connected with city business not elsewhere considered on the agenda may do so at this time. Welcome, Ms. Sly.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council, and staff. I just want to make a brief comment about the City Treasurer's report. Had the monies that were given by the government to help people whose mortgages were underwater been used for that purpose, corporations couldn't come in and devastate District 1, because it seems to me, and I'm from District 1, and it seems to me that that was something that was planned. Anyway, the other thing is, it's strange that you're going to destroy the records, police records, that Captain Seabrooks oversaw. Because just about two years ago she left. And you want to destroy those records, and who decides which records are to be destroyed? Number 3, I feel like Inglewood is going through the process of gentrification, and it tags on to what I said about the city clerk's, treasurer's report. I feel we're going through gentrification, and I feel as though those in charge of making these decisions are practicing meritorious manumission. I don't believe that you're doing what you really want to do. I believe there's people above you, and you're being puppeteered into doing a lot of things that are happening in Inglewood. And as far as the destruction of the records, police records, I think that was decided before this meeting, but it was made official today, since you voted for the consent calendar with one vote. I usually hate coming up to this microphone and making my comments heard, because it doesn't do any good. And many times I said, why should I go to these meetings? Because they don't care about the citizens of this city. But I can't stop coming because I want my voice to be heard. Even though people sit back and watch their little television programs and see the redacted part of the film and think that Inglewood is just perfect. Well, it's not. Wake up. Wake up, people, and come and voice your opinions. Because if you don't move, you don't realize you have chains on. You've got to move. You've got to be heard. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sly.
I'm going to say thank you for that great report, and I hope that everyone is able to make the connections between that report and what you just did with the Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae issue. Because all those homes that she just said were bought by investors, for years and years, this council had said we need to promote what? Home ownership for the person who's going to be living there. You always complained about the, what was it? That nasty name we called those people who owned the property and rented it to others? And yet it sounds like your action just kind of encouraged that a little bit, didn't it? Yeah, it did. And I've got to piggyback with what Ms. Slice said. I think that perhaps you don't get out in your cars and actually drive anywhere besides where you live in this office. Because when I came in on a different route, I saw so much devastation, because I don't use that route on a regular basis, that I think it's abhorrent that we don't hire young men and women, if they're so inclined, to take care of our green spaces. This community does not look pretty. If we take a picture of it, it is not pretty. Our soccer fields have been nothing but sand pits for several years now. And you had an option to do something and chose not to. So I hold you responsible, not those people behind you, you individually, because your voice is the one that casts the vote. You individually are responsible for the abhorrent look of some of our neighborhoods. You know, it's great to take a picture of a median, but if you don't look at the side streets, you don't look at what is beside that median, it is not pretty. That's kind of like taking a picture of the tie and forgetting that it's on a holy t-shirt.
My name is Willie A.G., and I'm proud to be in the beautiful city of Inglewood. A lot of people don't know it, but when you walk up to this microphone here and be able to speak your opinion, you're a winner. But it doesn't mean that you're gonna get everything you want. It's up to those 5 people that's sitting up there. It's in their hand. But thank God, you can come up here and you can speak your piece, but it doesn't mean that you're gonna get what you want. Even I don't know everything. I know some things, but I don't know everything. And that's why we got 5 people up there to sit there and work it out, and people over here and over there. They work it out. They figure out what's best for the city of Inglewood. And Ms. Zambrana, I can tell you, as far as park and recreation is concerned, our greenery in this city, we are on our way. Absolutely. This city is gonna be green again. I can guarantee that. And I think we got the council and staff to support the projects that we got coming. I'm chairman of Park and Recreation, and we're ready to roll. I want to thank y'all for it, believe me. Can't tell you all about it now, but the great paper, Inglewood Today, will be giving you some good news. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. A.G.
Hello, my name is Omar Baldwin, and I'm here representing the Peace and Freedom Party today. I would like to hand this out to everybody.
Just give it to the Sergeant at Arms.
And basically, I'm helping Cindy Sheehan. She's a peace activist. She lost her son, Casey Sheehan, in Iraq in 2004. And she was born in Inglewood, California, but she lives in Vacaville, California, up north. And basically, we're putting together an event in Inglewood. It's going to be a potluck, a community potluck. So we're trying to get the community involved with peace and freedom, basically. Peace on earth is like something that we all like vision and dream of, but now it's a reality because we have a plan and we're working on this plan. So basically, we need everybody to vote, and that's what we're trying to get everybody involved in. Basically, like when Barack Obama became president, like on TV, like and like on the radio and everything, like P. Diddy, like he had shirts on that said vote, you know. It was like a whole movement, but we need to get that going. We need to keep it going. Like we need to keep it going until we actually achieve peace on earth. That's the only way it's gonna happen. And we're gonna have to get this done in like each city, like Los Angeles, Atlanta, New York. We gotta get our country together first, and then we can move overseas in like Iraq and then like Brazil. We get them a peace democracy. We're gonna set up peace democracies, and each community and each city is gonna run its own government. So basically, like everybody in Inglewood will always come to Inglewood City Hall, and the people on the staff, they will take care of everything for the city, like how much food we need. We're gonna get that down from the federal. So all the food and stuff gonna come federal, but first, we have to vote first. We have to vote a lot. We gotta do a lot of voting, and we gotta plan a lot. We gotta do a lot of planning and stuff, and basically, right now we're throwing a potluck for the community of Inglewood. It's going to be November 17th. I just finished the flyers 2 days ago. I got to do some more stuff to it to make it nice. I'm gonna be like in front of Vons handing out flyers. It's a month from now, so I got a little time, and I just want to get the whole community involved, though, like everybody. Like we can have like you can take care of like the gardens and stuff for the community and a peace democracy. That would be beautiful, you know. And we just need everybody to get involved, though. And I'm gonna have to do my part as well, and hopefully the whole nation does its part, you know. But right now it's just voting for Cindy Sheehan, basically. Cindy Sheehan and Peace and Freedom Party. That's what it is right now.
Thank you. Council comments. Councilman Dawson has a family emergency. Councilman Padilla.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to touch on a couple of things. A reminder, this coming Saturday although our town hall meeting starts at 10, at 9:30 we're going to have a couple of booths set up. So if you want to get there a little early and visit the booths, that'd be fine as well. And it's downstairs in Community Room A, and it'll start at 10 a.m. and hope to be finished right around noon. So please come down. I want to thank Assemblyman Stephen Bradford for putting together Affordable Care Act presentation that was done this past Saturday. The mayor and the other council members, we were all there in attendance, and it's really good to see the number of community members that came out, and the presenters were spot on as they discussed the Affordable Care Act. We all, following that meeting, went to the Centinela Hospital Health Fair, and I want to thank Stephen Brand and Linda Bradley for putting together such a wonderful community presentation that brought not only people from Inglewood to our community, but people from the surrounding region that came down to see what Centinela Hospital has to offer and all the good things that they're doing here in our community. I also want to thank the city treasurer. She not only talks about what she does as a city treasurer, but more of what I enjoy is listening to her talk about what she's doing with our youth, and also the life learning financial information that she gives all of us so that we can try to improve our own situation as well. So I want to thank you for doing that. You know, I don't think any city's perfect, but I do know that a city like ours, Inglewood, we strive to be perfect. We strive to improve our situation, and we do that by coming together every week to talk with our constituents, to talk with the residents, and throughout the week to talk with business owners and residents about our situation and what we're doing as a city. And we have a really good city staff that works together so that we can move our city forward. Our parks are, as the commissioner mentioned, where it's a work in progress. We have some stuff that the council had already approved that we're waiting to get to fruition. And so there is some light at the end of the tunnel as it relates to our soccer fields and getting the green grass out there at our different parks throughout the city. But we ask you to be patient. And again, if you ever have any concerns or questions that you don't feel are being answered at our council meetings, I encourage you to please approach us either after the meeting or during the week. And I know that all the council members and the mayor would be more than happy to sit down and talk with you, as well as any of our city staff. We're here to serve you. And again, we can't do this alone. We understand that we do it as a team. We do it as a community. And so for that, I thank you again for being out here and taking time out of your day to be with us. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Morales.
And Alex did a good job Councilman did a good job of covering pretty much what happened this weekend, but you gotta leave me something. But, no, but just to go on, with regards to the, some folks get up and they say, how do we know that what you're doing is work for the city? Alex hit something else on the nose, and that's, sometimes we know what's happening with a particular issue that's out there. And, you know, the item isn't on the agenda. We don't have the opportunity to address it, so it's difficult to inform you unless, if you have that question, give us a call. We'd be happy to sit with you. For instance, the soccer fields, we've all received calls, but we know what's going on with that. As a matter of fact, our sergeant at arms at one point, who works with the kids, mentioned that to me. So everybody's keeping their eye on certain things, and there's an answer to your question. It may not always be the answer you're looking for, but there's an answer. And feel free to give us a call. That's how we communicate with you. Other than that, I do want to thank Centinela Hospital, Steve Bradford, our assemblyman, and just all the folks that continue to be supportive and go out not only to those events, but to our events. At the end of the day, we're still a city moving forward, and there's a lot of great things happening. You know, and sometimes the pace is slower than we'd like to see, but it's happening, I'm telling you. So thanks for coming out.
Councilman Franklin?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. In concert with my colleagues that referenced the Sentinel Hospital Health Fair event, as well as Assemblymember Stephen Bradford's event, I echo the same sentiments, but I do want to also accent a couple other things. One is the fact that the city of Inglewood, particularly District 4, has experienced a number of unique and exception to the rule of our quality of life issues in District 4 that resulted in some violent crime. And I personally want to thank the Chief of Police, the Mayor's input, as well as others that helped us come up with strategies on how we can address these issues. Because when a family hurts in my district, I hurt with them. And now coming up with ways and efforts to help smooth that issue over and eradicate the issues that caused it. So I just want to thank the mayor and the chief and his staff for a job well done and plans that it's now in the works to address those issues. I also want to identify that the Metro South Bay Service Council met here at City Hall on Friday, and we addressed the issues concerning the use of public transit. And particularly, we're reaching out to the Metro Board, seeking their support to keep the no fees imposed for the monthly transponders, which is $3 a month, that currently is being used as a pilot program to at least extend it for the duration that they are now working on the access to the use of the transponders under test pilot until February 2014. So we're asking that Metro not impose that, as well as we addressed issues regarding the different bus lines that come through the city of Inglewood, as well as and throughout the South Bay, of the frequency, as well as the new item we're addressing with more regularity, and that is the cleanliness of bus stops throughout the city. And then ultimately having the fast track, fast track and the regular 40-footers stopping at the same bus stops, so the residents and the patrons would not have to keep running across the street to be able to access those particular buses. So we've those issues as well. And on that note, just want to thank everyone that did come and give input. I see some of the residents that was in the audience that actually attended the health fair. I enjoyed myself immensely. It was great to see the turnout and identifying that it was beyond just the wellness programs and different testings, but also there was issues involving alcohol abuse, tobacco, safe places for the passage of our students to get back and forth to school that were all being addressed. And then obviously Mr. Bradford's comments that relative toward the having that program for affordable health care, the Obamacare. People just need to be made cognizant of it and how to get access to it. Know that? Thank you for coming, and have a great day.
The worst part about being last is that these guys suck up all the oxygen out of the room and all the good things have been talked about. But there was one event that occurred over the weekend. It was a breast cancer screening event at 317 South Market. It was in front of a hair salon, and it was well attended, and it was a free service for our residents and people that attended the beauty shop that day. I wanted to answer a couple questions that Ms. Sly raised. One was about the destruction of documents that was authorized in consent calendar item number 4. The only way that you can destroy documents is in concert with the government code and the penal code. And those particular documents relate to probably internal affairs files that there has been no inquiry for or no use for, and they take up a lot of space. And so they're destroyed by statute on a every 5-year basis. And so there's a purging that occurs so that if we had all the internal affairs files that were generated, internal investigations were generated since the police department has been there, we'd have no room for the records. And so the penal code and the government code provide for the destruction of records that are of no longer of use. When you talked about, I think you said the word puppeteer, or you said there was a grand conspiracy as related to the repossessions and investors. Actually, I would disagree with you. It's very hard to have a conspiracy of that nature that's so broad, so vast that no one would be aware of. What I would tell you is this, that the large number of repossessions that occurred in this country are largely due to the unscrupulous lending practices of the number of mortgage bankers that popped up after the dot-com bubble had peaked, and there were all these no verification stated income loans, and people were loaned money to purchase properties, and then refis at exorbitant interest rates when the adjustables kicked in, and told they could refi them later, and then one day everything fell apart. There were no refis, and then we had all these REOs around. What I think speaks well of the city is that people with money invested in these properties, have rehabilitated them, are getting great market rents, and they're holding on to them because they believe that this city is going to continue to escalate in property value. So I look at it a little different. I think that we're fortunate that we have become a city that people want to invest in. And I'd rather have that than repossess properties that are blighted and laying on our residential streets. This council is focused on the long term. There are a lot of things that are about to pop in the coming months ahead that are going to be revealed by initiative to let people know where we're headed as a community. The Daniel Freeman property that lay fallow all this time is in escrow right now. It's scheduled to come out in December, and we expect that there will be a nice use made of that property. There's a large interest in the city of Inglewood, and we're proud of that, and you should be too. I want to close by in memory of Stephen Falk. Steve Falk was a community service officer with me. In fact, when I hired on in 1972, he was my supervisor. I came on the Inglewood Police Department. He went to the LAPD. He graduated #1 in his academy. Right out of the academy, he was put in narcotics to buy dope undercover. He was an extremely motivated, smart man, and he was in his 38th year with the LAPD. 5 years past retirement. You can leave with full pension in 33 years. He was in his 38th year. He was with the SWAT team. He passed of sudden complications of throat cancer on the 7th of October. Just a very, very good man. And his services will be in Inglewood Mortuary on Friday morning. And we're adjourned. Oh, excuse me, we're not adjourned, we're returning to closed session.